Well, hello everyone. Hello Brian. Hello Steve Sims. How you doing
How
today?
you doing, guys?
I can't complain, because no one listens anymore anyway.
Look at this trifecta of gorgeousness. Let's be serious. Any woman out there now is probably incapacitated and just kind of like, I can't take too much of this on a screen. Let's be blunt.
That's right. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
We're all bald and we all have goatees, except for Brian. He keeps trying to keep that beard going.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm in denial.
All right, I want to get right into it. So Steve, I don't know if you've been watching this, but we started this thing called ACES 53, which is it started from when I was in college. They talked about, and the sales guy was like, remember 4 aces and a joker. ACES stand for attitude, commitment, enthusiasm, and smile. What you bring into sales yourself. The joker is that special ability you have that you bring to the table, whether you learn it or whether it's natural. It's that ability. And we on Thursdays we bring what we call the joker on to talk about their ability and what they can do and how we can help other people grow that ability.
So am I the Joker?
Yes, you are. Ain't that perfect?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, but okay, thank you.
It's not it's a
the
unique ability. It's not, you're the wild card. The Joker is anything. It can be anything. That's why it's important.
Okay, nice framing. Yeah. All right, okay, I'll take that then.
Yeah. And so we've been talking about prospecting for the last few weeks, and people really like that we've been on this for a while, and we kind of want to have you come in and give your take on that kind of thing, what people can do better at that.
Well, the first thing they can do is they can stop doing a turkey shoot. Absolutely everyone in the planet kind of goes out there and they go, well, I've got this product, I've got to reach as many faces, eyeballs, and ears as possible. So I don't want to say this because that'll dilute my message. I don't want to say this because that'll aggravate some of my customers. And they try to go too wide and they dilute and they end up becoming vanilla. I think what you've got to do today, more than ever, is actually be out there. You've got to stand up and go, hey, I don't like green. Hey, I do like penguins. And you've really got to take a stance so people can go, whoa, I like what this person's standing for. Mm-hmm. I want to get involved. So today we've got to be a lot more focused with our prospecting, and we've got to forget the dilution of the turkey shoot.
So what you're saying is be who you are everywhere, no matter.
And we go back to that again, and it's an age-old mousepad slogan and stuff like that. But the bottom line of it is, it takes zero effort for you to be you. And every person in every damn industry just turns around and they're like, right, I'm in real estate. I better lean up against a car I don't own. I better get my boobs out. Mm-hmm. Every single industry has a stereotype that everyone getting into that industry then ends up emulating and becoming one of the many. So no one wants to work with the many. Everyone wants to work with the unique, the unicorn, the Joker, as you say.
Right. I'm just glad Brian put his boobs away because I get tired of seeing those all over the screen.
It's terrible.
It's the tape I have to put across the nipple. It's tough to take off.
Yeah.
Well, this went south fast.
Yes, it did.
Well, you brought that up, but we've all done stupid stuff like that in the past. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, that's how we learn, isn't it? Yeah. I think the difference is a lot of people hang on to it thinking, this is going to work one day. And that's the problem. We've all done stupid shit. We've all done stupid marketing. We've all done absolute diabolical, world-class mistakes. But that's where the gold lies. And it's there where the education is that can make us better, make us sharper. So that's the good stuff.
Well, and we were talking with prospecting and everything. There's right now, it's all organic marketing. So you should just go out and do a bunch of videos, and that's all you need to do. You don't have to reach out to me. And we're like, so we went back to one of the quotes from your book, which, is you can't pay your bar tab with likes. And while growing and having that presence, not just when you're prospecting, like, yes, put yourself out there so people can come and find you.
You just kicked him out.
Not me.
He left. He had enough of what you said about him.
He's like, wait, that's one of my quotes. I'm out of here.
Nah.
That was your side. You're great Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh my God. Weird. Okay, but anyway, so I don't know where I lost you, but
what's on the screen? Yeah.
Yeah, there's too many people that are kind of like trying to be something they shouldn't be, and that's really what we need to get over.
Right.
Because I've been saying all that's important, but that's only part of your whole prospecting arm of what you do.
Correct.
That, it's like the phone book was back in the day when you advertised in it. You just didn't go in the phone book only. You did so many other things too. And each one of these billboards, what used to work in the past, that don't work really, the same today. But it's just one more little thing in your arsenal.
Well, and one of the things that Steve really is kind of like an expert and helped me in is this quote here is most people, when you're prospecting, they're going to go and research you after you reach out to them. So once you're reaching out to your prospects, they're going to kind of reverse investigate who you are. And that's something Steve helped me out with quite a bit is, was I consistent across my channels? Did I have a consistent message? Was I all over the place? And that's where it's good to prospect, but people are going to research you. And if they research you and they're confused by who you are and what they find, they're never going to come to you for business.
Do you know the funny thing about that is they research you on Google. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, no one's ever lied on Google. Everything on Google is 100% fact. So they're actually researching you in an imperfect swamp. So you've got to make sure that you're in control of the narrative. And again, as you said, once they've spoken to you and they've got an idea of who you are, this could be from a recommendation, it could be from a social post, it could be hearing you on a podcast. When they're doing their research, understand they're not looking to learn new information. Mm-hmm. They're looking to validate what they've already assumed you are. And if your online presence is different to who you actually are, you're confusing people, and no one confused will ever give you that credit card.
Absolutely.
Good thing I don't take credit cards.
But it's true.
But it's so true about being who you, and that's why I keep telling people, because so many people talk to me, I just don't like doing it. And people already know how fat you are, how ugly you are, how beautiful you are, whatever that is.
Don't like doing what?
Huh? Doing social media, something on social media.
Videos. Yeah.
God, here we go again. I had this the other day, and I was talking to a bunch of female realtors. And I said to them, I said, look, you spend too much time worrying about your weight and your hair.
Mm-hmm.
No one gives a shit, okay? They care about the value you bring. Let's be honest. You're stood on the side of the road, a bus comes past, and the girl or the guy next to you goes to step into the road, which you know full well they're going to get splattered by the bus. Your instant reaction is to grab them and save them. You've now given increased value, incredible value to that person. You've given them life-changing value. You've saved their life. But they will never turn around and go, well, I don't like your hair. Oh, I don't like that jacket. That color's fucking awful on you. They're never going to say any of that because you've been a value. When you focus on the value, they stop caring about what you look like and they look at you as the substance. They look at you as the source. Stop worrying about your hair. Stop worrying about your weight. Start being a value. And if you've got no value, leaning up against that car or wearing a bikini ain't going to help. We've gone past those days.
Mm-hmm. Look at Gary Vee. Gary Vee is not an attractive guy, but you know what? He makes a lot of money because of the value he provides.
That's just rude. You're going to be canceled now.
That's right.
Yeah. People have to focus on the value. Do you have a message that quite simply can help somebody else? If it can help somebody else, they really don't give a rat's ass what you look like or sound like.
I think the biggest thing is go back to who your real clients are, and that's who you need to because I think a lot of people just shoot, like you say, the shotgun approach. They don't know who their actual client is. They don't know who that perfect client is, and they need to go back and look at that. And I was talking to a guy today who called me to help him on a couple things, and I told him, go back to your clients, ask them why they used you for that product, and because he was thinking it was a certain way, and I'm like, I guarantee you it's not. Go back to them, call all of the at least 25 of them, find out why they use you, why they use that product. And I said, ask them 3 times, like you always say, Steve. Ask him why that, and he's finally going to do that. And I told him, you'll get your answer in that, and that's what you need to get back to, who your client really is.
Isn't it funny that we don't interview our clients?
Yeah,
I have my best source of research comes from people spending money. Here's the dumb fuck. Sorry, dumb stuff. Sorry,
we got it. That's okay. It's not for children.
All right, okay. So here's the dumb thing. You spend all your life listening to people that either will never do business with you or can't afford you.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't pay attention to the people that have opened up that checkbook. If you've opened up your checkbook to me, I want to know, why did you do that? Why are you here? What else can I do? What value were you expecting? So what can I oversee? You know, all of that stuff. They're your best route of all research, yet people are scared of them. Now, if you go to your client and you go, hey, you've been my client for 1 month. You've been my client for 1 year, for 1 decade. It really doesn't matter based on time. In that 1 month, what were you expecting that you didn't get? What were you expecting that was going to happen to your life, your situation, your problem? And ask that through the other people and get their response. And isn't it brilliant if someone says, hey, I want yellow cupcakes on a Tuesday? You've just been told what your target market, i.e. those people to pay you, want and desire. Start to speak easy. We send out emails going, what's your problem? And then we get people in to answer that problem. So quite simply, there's your issue. There's the solution. Job done. It's nothing easier than having laser target focus. And you can get that from people that are actually your clients.
Well, and you end the speakeasy with asking that same question. What did you like? What did you not like? What would you like to see at the next one? So you're already starting to build the next event when you're there.
Every single time. It's very easy. You've just got to speak to the people that matter. Now, the world is very noisy, and poor people are very noisy. And those people that are never going to do business with you, they are incredibly noisy. You've just got to focus on the people that you actually want to do business with, that are in a position to do business with, and take their opinion. Focus on who really matters when you're speaking to people.
Stop looking at it as a transactional. Look at it as a relationship you're building in sales with these people. It's a relationship you're building. If you're building a relationship, what do you do differently? It's the same thing if you're dating when you're building that relationship. It's the same thing with clients, somewhat. It shouldn't be the same exactly, but I think
you've hit on something there very accurate. You've got to understand, first off, is your business in the people business or are you in the transaction business? Okay. Are you in the transaction business where they push a button, they push a widget and it gets delivered? Best one we know of that is Amazon. Nobody has a relationship with Amazon. Okay. But if you're in the people business, car driving, Uber, restaurants, waiters, mortgage, coaches, you're in the people business. You're in the relationship business. So therefore, you just need to identify, first of all, am I a transaction or am I a relationship? And focus on that.
Well, I think a misconception that people have, and I didn't know this until working with you, was I assumed that people just call you all the time, like, hey, you want this gig? You want this gig? And one of the things that you talked about, no, is just like any other business, when January of the calendar year hits, you have to start prospecting yourself, reaching out to people, finding out where their events are. So yes, some people come to you as a referral, but just like any other business, prospecting is what really helps you grow your business at the exact same time.
I would say probably about 30% of my business, maybe a little bit more than that, is people that have come to me, especially in the speaking world. Okay. They've heard about me. They've seen me at a gig. The rest of it I generate. I create my own waves that I surf. Back in November, when my book was launched, I said I'd done a lot of podcasts. I'd done a lot of building up for this book. And I said to Claire, I'm going to keep doing my speaking gigs. I'm going to keep doing my podcasts. But come November, I'm done. I'm absolutely done. I don't want to be doing any more speaking gigs. It's been too hectic. I'm out. Okay. And of course, when you say that, you're not getting 200 people phoning you up going, oh, please be on my stage. That shit doesn't happen. I had one gig for this year in September in Arizona. And that was my only gig booked for 2023. And then Claire came over and she went, I don't want to upset you, but we've just got this rather large tax bill. I was like, oh, shit. So then you've got to go to work again. And I think we're in February now, and I think I've done eight so far because I had to go back out there and go, oh, and you know the tactics I use, Brian. Yeah. Oh, congratulations on the thing. Oh, if you're looking for it, and you start working out on this. Now I'm pretty much booked pretty much every month of this year now. So got to pay the tax, man.
And so it's the follow-up. That's a big thing with what you have is what Steve teaches is you reach out to the person, right? You get on their radar, but then you follow up with them after the fact. So it's not a one call close type scenario.
And that's with any client, you see, and what you're talking about here is more specific to the speaking gigs.
Right.
But what you're also talking about is how you should communicate with the prospect. Once the prospect paid you, that's when the communication should intensify, not end. Right. Hey, thanks for spending the money on. Whoa, back again.
Yeah.
All right.
Stop.
We've got.
Go ahead.
We got a bad storm going on here, so maybe that's kind of getting in the way. But I was saying that when someone pays you, that's not when the conversation ends, is when the conversation actually intensifies. It's the time when you go, hey, you spent $2,000 on this speaking. You spent this amount of money on the coaching. You spent this money on the book. Why? I just want to know what was the problem that aggravated you enough to get your credit card out and to do this. And let's see how we can actually make it more valuable. You know, what else can I bring to the party that's going to work for you? So when they pay, that's when you intensify. Now, here's the thing. When you buy something, how many times does the person that you bought something from phone you up, either congratulate you or challenge you and go, hey, Brian, why did you buy that? Why did you buy that event? Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen very often, but look at this. When it does, people start talking to each other. I had the lady you know, so I won't bring up her name, but she's a coaching client of mine, and she introduced me to this other woman, okay? I do a good job with her. She introduced me to this lady, and I said to her, why are we having this call? And she was like, well, I thought you were going to, sell me your coaching program. I'm like, I'm not here to sell you anything, girl. I want to find out what's pissing you off so much that you're taking time out of your day to talk to me, and they want to know if I got a solution for it. So the attitude I had with her was very direct. I didn't want to get her into a relationship with me to then become surprised that I was that blunt. So I had to almost kind of be a little bit more aggressive at the beginning so that she didn't get shell shocked later. But the conversation that I had led to two other people actually booking tickets to a speakeasy, and one of them actually just joining as another coaching client. My conversation with her and focusing on her led me to two other clients.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and I didn't know you could get more aggressive.
Well,
I would like to see that someday, because I just thought you were always aggressive. So.
Oh, shush. You're just a buttercup.
No, it's just we're all direct the way you need to be direct in what we do, because you can't pussyfoot around the stuff we do. If you do, it's wasting people's time and money, and we don't want to do that. So.
In today's world, we can't. And we've wasted way too much time to get back. We want clarity, and clarity comes, and people confuse clarity with bluntness. You do this, that happens.
Right.
And people go, whoa, where's all the fluffy stuff? Well, I could pull the shit out of you with a 10-page presentation, but bottom line of it is you push that button, that happens. We want clarity today, and it shouldn't be confused with rudeness. It should be just taken as directness and respectful of your time.
Correct.
Absolutely. So in addition to what most people think of as prospecting, phone calling, emailing, face-to-face meetings, some of the things that you do really well, Steve, are obviously you post quite a bit, right, with SIMS Media. You do podcasts just like this. In addition to hosting your own, you have one right after this. Lots of videos to learn from. Now, you don't record the speakeasies, but you're putting video content out quite a bit, right? Speaking on stage, instant credibility. And then what's really unique about your events and some of the other ones I've gone to is they're more of networking events than they are show up, watch somebody on stage, get out, right? They're more inclusive. You eat at the same places. You encourage people to talk to each other. And that networking brings other people into your network as a result of that, from what I've seen.
Well, look at you two guys. You guys didn't know each other beforehand, and I've seen Ed working with different people, and I've seen Brian working with other people. We're entrepreneurs, and the problem with entrepreneurs, and this is the issue when we're younger, we think we can do everything. We think we can handle absolutely everything that gets thrown at us, and we can. And one-on-one, there's a high likelihood of us winning the fight. But when there's 30 of us, we can win the war. And so the key for all of these events, in my eyes, is I want to walk into a room of people that have got my back. I want to be able to walk into that room and go, hey, I need more. With you, Ed, when I was going through my remortgage, I contacted you about remortgages. You gave me different advice on different investment properties, mortgages. I have my community. No good me just Googling it. Again, we know Google doesn't lie. I went to an expert source that actually gave it to me as it was. So I'm all about the community to build up your army.
I think one of the things why Brian's bringing up what he's talking about, the posts and stuff you do prospecting, because I think a lot of people think you don't prospect. I think that's why and we're trying to say that you prospect in everything you do. And if you don't prospect, I don't want to say you'll die, but basically you won't pay your bills. And that's why he's bringing up what you're doing. And that's why he's kind of, because everybody thinks Steve's so successful, he doesn't have to do anything. And you are successful, but I'm just saying that's what people think. And that's why we're kind of asking these questions about prospecting. So anything else you can give to help people understand that?
We're prospecting now. Every conversation you can have, I've taken a screenshot of you fuglies. You know, everything that ever gets posted is prospecting. Every time you're posting on social, that's prospecting. Every time you're doing a podcast, when you release a book, anything you do. And you're right. And Brian brought it up earlier about Gary V. Vanacek Media, Vanya Speakers. Gary's got a lot of different companies, but he understands that he needs to keep that momentum going. Now, as Brian knows, getting yourself known, that's tough. That takes time, okay? And it takes effort, and it takes strategy, and it takes motivation, self-motivation, and work. Once you start getting known, then you've got to perpetuate it. Now, Ed, you're completely right. If I stop that, and luckily I never did, so when I needed to pick up the speaking gigs again, I could narrate the conversation back to the speaking it here, making a difference, and it attracted the speaking gigs. And then I got involved, and it grew from there. So there is no successful person out there that doesn't prospect. Now, am I buying Facebook ads? No, I'm not. Okay. Am I buying Google ads? Yes, I am. But am I prospecting through all other ways? And get this bit, you're going to love this. Free platforms. And that's where a lot of people get stupid. They're quite happy to spend 10 grand on Facebook ads, but they won't spend 10 minutes on posting social properly. So there's no fee for Twitter. There's no fee for podcasts. You know, so use these medias and mediums to prospect out in a free form.
And get on other people's podcasts.
All the time. We spoke about that many times, and you've done it a lot. Constantly jump into other people's sandpits. Like I'm doing this podcast with you, and I know both of your listeners may not have heard of me before. So now they have.
We have two listeners?
We only have 2 listeners?
Yeah, one's called Ed and the other one's called Brian.
We're talking the other people.
Okay.
But you know, besides prospecting, I mean, you have to turn people into clients, and you can't do that by just only prospecting. You then have to follow up. You have to do what we're talking about. And one of the biggest things I find for me that gets my people from prospects to clients is by the phone. And a lot of people are afraid to pick up the phone. They'd rather text or this or that forever. And I'd rather pick up the phone and know exactly in the next 3 minutes whether or not we're going to start a relationship.
Yeah, that's why you do it very, very well, Ed. I'm really stunned. It's amazing how many people have an iPhone but have never actually phoned anybody. It really is hysterical. And during COVID, the first thing I did was phoned up people because I knew for a start, especially in the first 2 months, you were sitting at home thinking, well, we've probably got another couple of weeks of this COVID-y thing and then it'll be gone. So no one was really making a lot of plans. I had a hit list, and there was a hit list of people that I wanted to have a chat with. You know, Seth Godin was on there, establishing stronger relationships with other people, some real industry people that I probably should have mentioned. But the funny thing was, I was at home, pretty much guaranteed so were they. So what I did was I did this miraculous thing. I picked this up, and I dialed it. And I went, hey, how are you? Sorry to bother you. It's Steve SIMS. I know we haven't spoken before. We've crossed a couple of emails, but I thought, hey, you ain't doing shit, nor am I, so let's have a chat. And I literally did. The hit list I had was about 60 people. And that's 60 people. And I mentioned Seth Godin because I've never been able to get a hold of him prior to COVID. Okay. Purple Cow, if people don't know who he is. And I couldn't get hold of him. Okay. We'd exchanged a couple of emails. We've done a couple of texts. Same with Gary V. Never been able to kind of like break through to actually physically have verbal communication with a guy. And then all of a sudden, that 60 plus list that had been being built up over 2 to 3 years prior to COVID, I exasperated within the first 2 months of COVID. Absolutely every single one of those people had a conversation with me. It was incredible. And I'm still having conversations with them. So I'm amazed that people don't pick up the best thing they can, a phone, and try it.
No, we only have you about for another 4 minutes because I know you have to go, and I know this is your book. This is your second book, and people are saying books are now like there it is. Go for stupid. I like business cards and you need to have a book more than any other time in history. Do you believe that?
Not everyone. You guys, yes. And anyone that's trying to create an impact on a wider scale. You see, the beautiful thing about the book. First thing is, it's never going to buy you a house on the beach. Okay? Books are never going to buy you a private jet. Okay? The only millionaire author, and people go, oh, J.K. Rowling. She wasn't until she started selling it to the movies. Okay? So the bottom line of it is, this book is a way for me to get your attention when you're sitting in the garden, when you're on a plane. And it's a way of getting you into my stories, my world, my impact. And if it resonates with you, then in the book are ways that you can communicate with me and get more involved in my life. So it is a very, very good call for authority, establishment of who you actually are that resonates with your with your tone, style, colorful language, whatever, and then gets people to come back to you. It is the best way to gain authority in this book, but it's not for everyone.
And gain authority in your industry. You can gain it. What's my industry? My industry is the people. Yeah, but do you have it is an industry. I mean, mine's the mortgage industry, and having a radio show, having podcasts, being on a documentary, having a book makes a huge difference when I'm talking to people. And just like you having a book. Yeah, I mean, because I wrote the book on it.
Yeah, it really is a good thing to do. But again, it's like social. Do it properly. Don't just do it.
Right.
Well, I know you have to leave in 1 minute. So one of the things you always talk about is personal branding, leveraging your strengths, showing people who you are, and so that they talk about you. So when you enter a room, it's already spoken for you. And that's the importance of being consistent with your message, having a professional website, not like GoDaddy like I had when I first met you. But having professional work out there. Your videos don't have to be professional. You don't have to have a videographer or a professional team, but your online presence where people can't interact with you needs to look professional.
100%. Yes, that's correct.
But don't not get moving because you don't have that going. Because like you said, you have a quote. What is your quote, Steve?
I don't know. It depends. I've got a million. So which one?
The one that talks about get going, then get good.
Oh, get. Yeah, that's Ari Meisel. Get going, then get good. Now we joke about Brian having the world's worst website, but he had a website.
Right.
He had a line in the sand. He had that momentum. He started, and it's not until you do something like we're building a couple of stuff now. We got this challenge that we're doing in March, and we built a website for it. On paper of where the copy was going to go to Pete. But once it actually got put together, it looked freaking awful. But we built it. And we were there from that point, be able to go, this doesn't resonate. It doesn't have the tone. It doesn't have the impact. So we're going to kill it. But we wouldn't have been able to make that decision had we not started.
Right. And Steve, thank you so much for being here. I know you have to go. We don't want to hold you over. Thank you so much, Brian. Thanks for being here. And everybody, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See you.